All right, you guys, here we are. What everybody wants, but no one can afford. What's that? It's the multi-generational, multi-family, compound living, but in new construction. So here we are at Village at the Park, where builders saw this in advance and they built properties to kind of have the ADU. We saw a little bit of this in the farm on the East End Ventura, and here we have it in Camarillo as well. So here we got this little downtown shopping. They've got the mixed use going on behind me, a couple eateries, some markets, some professional businesses like financial planning, State Farm insurance. They're real popular these days. Things like that here. Now this was kind of an infill on the south side of the freeway between the hills of Magoo, the Grade, and the 101 freeway. Although it's adjacent to the historic downtown, it's really close to freeway access so that you can get over to TO or head on over to Ventura. So the location is great, hospital's not far away, schools are tremendous here in Camarillo. So if you guys know anyone that's looking for that multi-generational living because they've got kids and a senior that they need to have at home with them with a downstairs bedroom, we're gonna go check it out. So if you heard that plane just go by, we're actually further away from the airport than the Corte Regalo listing that we were talking about. And the reason you actually hear it here, even though we're further away, is because this is the flight or the wind pattern. They typically are gonna go from east to west because we have the prevailing wind from the west. So you actually hear the flights more over here at Village of the Park. So that's one thing to take notice of. However, this is what's really cool. You've got these great big fields. You've got the baseball fields and other fields. And we'll check this out, another plane overhead coming in. Let's see if you can hear it at all. If I can even capture it. Okay, here we are, Village at the Park, the puff pastries of housing. We've got that airplane above, a little air traffic control noise going on here, but we've got the embellished stone. 805 in the background. So if you guys are familiar with Firestone, the company, there's actually a winery in the San Ynez Valley. And I think 10 or 15 years ago, they actually got into beer. 805 was a really big hit, a little bit of a darker, richer blonde, but not those heavy IPAs and sugary IPAs. It's got a nice flavor to it. And they just had the truck going by, but how fitting that we're talking about the 805, which is, you know, Ventura County, Central Coast, as well as the Pismo Beach area. So that would incorporate Santa Barbara. Although 805, it's a little bit more grit, a little bit more street credit than your Santa Barbara or wine country. So they really hit it on the head with their marketing, surfing, cars, motorbikes. Interesting, but that's from the area. If you guys are interested in knowing about that, there's been a lot of microbrews made west, Topa Topa, that have come from the area and done really well. But here we are at Village at the Park, and this is just a nice, quaint day. Camarillo's got to have some of the best weather in the world, known for its Mediterranean climate. The grade is just up the way this way towards Thousand Oaks, Westlake, Newberry Park. They're going to sit in higher elevations, so they're going to get that heat while we get the breeze and the fog burn off. So Camarillo, the best weather between Ventura, Ojai, Westlake, it's in Camarillo. This is the spot for weather. If it's just about cool, clear climates, What's really interesting about where we're at right now, Village at the Park, is that it's got some shopping here. You can do some moderate shopping. You can get your goods. You don't have to, head over to Trader Joe's or go to the grocery store if you just want to get something real quick or grab something to eat or a coffee. So that's what's really convenient about its location here. It is, however, it's got the best weather, what we were talking about. But that's what's so great about here is that there's no city center. You'll hear me say that. There's no real city center in Camarillo, which is the beauty of it. That's how you get that small town feel, and you maintain that feel even when you have growth projects like this. So it's more on the exteriors where we're seeing it in Camarillo. Ventura, we're seeing a little bit more of the infill, but places like downtown Ventura, Main Street moves, you're gonna see high density because it is a city center. It is the downtown. It is right by the beach. They're gonna, with that Main Street moves, they're gonna push the height increases up. You're gonna have density of housing, that whole walkability. The younger environmentalists like it. They like, bikeability, walkability, live where you work, not driving cars. The number of vehicles is supposed to go down for those generations. So you're seeing, reactions and maybe kind of setting up the play with the rules, with the ADUs, rezoning, redistricting, things like that are happening slowly but surely, so it's something to be aware of. But I feel like Camarillo is going to keep this going on because it doesn't have a city center, it doesn't have a place to really build up to justify getting those height increases. But when you do things like what Ventura is doing by shutting down the downtown and making it a pedestrian walking places, you're basically justifying to build up. So if you're looking, because here we are, if you guys are looking for multi-generational and a quiet neighborhood, there are HOAs here. We're going to get into that in the deeper part of the video, but you've got something that's priced right around the 1.3 range. And remember, I talk about these inflection points in our market, in this 25, 26 market, with interest rates hovering in the sixes, mid sixes to sevens. We're kind of at the low sixes right now, with a lot of anticipation going forward into the holiday seasons or into next year that we're going to see those heavy rate cuts from the Fed because of the JOLTS reports, the job reports. And if they have the job losses, then they're going to be able to justify, even though we haven't hit that 2% inflation number, they're going to be able to do rate reductions anticipating a recession. But that's what the Fed's job is to do with the quantitative easing, is to prevent the recession. That's all they've got, is that rate cut. We'll see what happens. But because of this multi-generational, let's get into some of the numbers. So that 1.3 number was such a hot number. 1.3 and what that gets you in income. So we've got that property over on Corte Regalo. We had a lot of investors looking at it. I would almost every weekend, I'd get a family that was just on the cusp of writing an offer and an investor that was just on the cusp of writing an offer. At 1.3, 7,000 is almost there, 7,500 is almost there, but with the 375 HOA, maybe that doesn't make the numbers quite work. Investors like semi-luxury, 3,000 square foot, 5-bedroom or 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath. They like that because the quality of renter that they're going to get at $7,000, $6,500 to $7,500, high quality renter. Someone's going to have a great job to be able to afford that. But let's get really interested in that other buyer that we're looking at, that multi-generational buyer. Multi-generational buyer wants this 1.3 property at like 1 or 1.1. They want it at a $6,000 mortgage. They don't want it at an $8,000 mortgage, which is in fact what we're starting to see on runs on that magic number 1.3. We've got a 4-plex listed with one of our colleagues in the Ojai office, come down to my neck of the woods, West End Ventura. They've got this property on Harrison, Spanish style bungalows, netting right around $8,000 at current market rents. They can be improved and increased, probably getting to $8,500, $9,500 per se, but in its state right now, with around the $8,000 income, is at 1.3. We've got another one coming up right by the hub, I like to say hub, and the Deer Lodge in Ojai, in that Miners Oaks area, with Charmy, one of our other agents. And that one is, gosh, what was her rent? She was saying about $8,000 as well, at a 1.3. We've got another one with one of our agents coming up off the Canada Larga Road, a little bit past Canada Larga, Coyote Creek, and known as off the Santa Ana Road. And in this area, they've got almost a triplex, because they're occupying one, they're renting out 2, but those rents are right around there, 7,500, 8 grand. They're actually gonna be under market because they're really in an area that you don't have too many renters. It's kind of in between Ojai and Ventura, kind of in that in-between area, Miners Oaks area, so not quite, in the Oakview area, Camp Chaffee Road, so not quite even Oakview. So you might not get as many renters right there, but you'll still get the income, and you're still getting 3 units. So at 1-1, dealing with that road that zigzags and goes up, they're still getting a pretty good income. So it's gonna be very interesting to follow these. So please follow me, whether you actually subscribe or not, but follow these videos so that we can talk about these properties and see how they work. There we go, they've got those planes again. So that's something you get. You're gonna get some of that Ventura Camarillo airport noise. So remember that number, that 1.3, and we're looking around 8 to 8,500 in income. As I said before, with Ventura especially, 900, 950 is netting about 4,500 to 5,500 in income. And we've got the one listed just below 9 that would net you about $5,000 in income. And because of the condition of the back unit, it's probably gonna go a little lower than that. But these are where your numbers are, 5,000 in income, 8,000 in income. And you could imagine being a multi-generational buyer. The whole purpose of that is really like, let's come together to save on living expenses, whether it's rent or the mortgage. You don't want to be paying $8,000 when you can be doing it for $6,000. So hence the title of the video, what everybody wants but nobody can afford. And I think someone can afford it. I think they might be a little high on price. And we're in that moment, between moments, where things get soft and people can't tell, are we gonna have a dip or are we gonna bounce back? We are in that moment, which is one of the best moments to buy, because it's in that wonderment of anticipation that you can actually get the better deal. You can actually get, closing costs. You can actually get reductions. Once it bounces, even if it's come down in price, the seller's holding all the cards again. Now, while we want to see some relief, we just don't know for certain if we will. But I feel like 2026 is going to be very telling, because we're either going to have a soft landing or we're not. Okay, here we are, Village at the Park, the puff pastries of housing. We've got that airplane above, a little air traffic control noise going on here. But we've got the embellished stone, we've got the craftsman style slats, the property next door. We're gonna come along inside and check this out. So entering this 5-bedroom, 3.5 bath home, you've got this great space as you walk in. Hallway with the arches. Gonna have your stairway. There you go. So the stairway, garage, entryway, kitchen. Let's go, kitchen. Okay, kitchen, and then this is what they call the lockout ADU. This is what everybody wants. This is what they were looking for. We want multi-generational living, or we want the income. That's what everybody's looking for, but no one can afford. You hit that 1.3, that's that semi-luxury. I would call it the luxury of the middle, the upper middle. 1.3, 1.4, it's kind of that cream of the crop. A lot of activity happening between 800 and $1.2 million. But you get so much more for going up $100,000 past that. Check this out. They've got the jacuzzi room, outdoor. You've got your living room on the entryway, family room over here, open concept kitchen. Still a little backyard with like that luxury-esque fireplace. Check this out. This is all here, a little gardening area out there. If you saw that. Upscale kitchen. But let's go see what's behind door number 1. Okay, here we go. I wish I could flip the screens while I was holding it, but let's just go check it out. So coming in here right away, you're gonna have this full bath. The bedroom's to the right, very simple concept. Very simple concept. And then coming in here, it's that kitchen. It's this little kitchenette. Washer, dryer, oh, that's nice. Self-contained unit. That's what everybody wants, that's what everybody wants. So especially for multi-generational, people are looking for it all over the place. Sometimes people are looking for it just to supplement that income. A lot of times that millennial generation, they're gonna be getting a gift of $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $600,000. And they wanna get that mortgage, but hey, we want some help with that mortgage. So adding that ADU, incorporating that ADU, sometimes it's not worth that extra payment because are you gonna get enough income to offset it? If you're popping over $1 million, a lot of times, no, you're just getting extra and you're paying more for it. But multi-generational, when you want one family under one roof, this is where it's at. So this one's got the kitchenette. It's got the outdoor space. So people have got privacy. They're together, but they're separate and separated by a door. And this is the kind of door that can very easily, what we call a lockout, because you can very easily put up a couple studs, even some insulation, drywall on both sides, and then you've got your lockout, you know, more of a seal if you wanted to do it that way too. A lot of times people will do what they call roommate agreements in these situations, leasing agreements, if they're not supposed to be separate units. But for a family situation like this, doing the lockout with the door is the way to go. That's how it's set up right now. So without any further ado, we're gonna check out what's upstairs. Door number 2, 3, and 4. Let's go. So they got the carpet stairs, embellished handrails. Like it, like it, like it. Great sun. Look at these arched windows. Those are nice. Let's go check out what we got going on here. It's got to be our primary. Nice, spacious. Come on into the flow. You've got the tub. 2 sinks, everybody's favorite realtor. Yeah. Standing shower. That's a fan. You've got the toilet, overhead storage, and walk-in closet. So this isn't a high-end location. This isn't in the hills. This isn't the estates. This isn't Santa Rosa. Isn't Hobson Heights, but what it does have is it has that mark that every luxury home is looking to get. That's a really great primary bedroom with the ensuite where you've got your good sized walk-in closet. You've got separation with the toilet. People like their privacy, for goodness sakes. Standing shower, because that's a different sort of vibe than the soak-in tub. You can get a different vibe, you know? And, you know, I once had a client where she said it's showers for the morning and then decompression. A really stressful job. It was very important for her to be able to have the tub, and she didn't want to shower or bathe. She didn't want to bathe where she had just showered in. So it was like really important to have two. She had a system and she was very successful, and it makes a lot of sense. So then you've got the 2 sinks, the dual sinks, you know, for partners, and then you've got a really good size bedroom. So this is that luxury mark. And you really get a lot for the dollar, because to get any more, you're jumping up to that almost that $2 million range. There's not really a lot at 1.5, 1.6, 1.7. That's different. And what's great about this one, this is what everybody wants. It's got that ADU downstairs as well. Let's go check out door number 3 and 4. We make our way out the primary. You can see these beautiful built-ins right here. You've got your other bedrooms down the hall. You know, good sized room, tall ceiling. mirror closets like that. And hallway, this is great separation, especially for, you know, siblings and people living together. Just that little bit of hallway of separation is great. This one, you're kind of in the middle of it all. Give this one to the baby of the family. And then you've got, you know, another full bath, 2 sinks. You've got the upstairs washroom, which is really nice. So that's 2. You actually had one in the ADU and one that's here upstairs. And then you've got the 5th bedroom, which opens up to the front of the house, the driveway, the neighborhood, and the light. So 100%, I'm gonna say that this property here at 1,325 has really got the most value, the most bang for its buck, having the ADU, having all these luxury features and embellishments, the newer construction. You don't have all that stuff going on behind the walls. Really great investment here. If that's in your range, you know, Village at the Park could be for you. You've got the high school right across the street. You've got Rancho School right here, and Magoo Beaches right down the way. You got the back route down there. You can actually get to the beach faster going due south than going towards Silver Strand and Oxnard, or Ventura beaches. The people in TO think the closest beach to them is Silver Strand. No, it's like right out here, out past Magoo. Double back, that's Sycamore Cove. That's where you want to be. All right, you guys. For more value, keep watching these videos. We'll see you soon.